Well, thanks everybody for joining me today. Decided to go for a walk in one of the places that relaxes me a lot, because today is my mom's birthday, and she passed away a few years ago. Thank you. And I miss her. I miss her when things are stressful, and things have been stressful. One of the things I kind of realized about myself was that I seem to be waiting for the right time to be healed. You know what I mean? Like, I would sit there and be like, why is this happening? Well, why are they doing this? And you know, what's up with that? And just waiting all the time. And what I realized is you can't wait. You have to keep living. You have to keep going, because that's where you learn to change, and where we learn to be something different. I wanted to be just like my mom. She was a hero. She was a nurse, and she was extremely smart, and just one of those ladies everybody who was around her was just happy to know her. She worked for city council for a while, and enjoyed the community, petitioned for harbor fronts and stuff, you know, like, she was a good person, really good in her heart. And I'm wearing this today. Just let me find a piece of sunshine to shine it off. This is my mom's locket, and one of the things that I remember most, well, I hope you get to see some of this shine. Maybe if I can bring it in a little closer, see some of the shine. But I remember my mom at a young age talking to me about spirituality, and I don't mean the religious kind of Catholic religion, which is what I was brought up on, but spirituality about the inside, things like Reiki and natural powers, crystals, things like that. And I never really spent a lot of time sort of paying attention to that kind of thing until I started going through my own challenges, and I got to look at rituals maybe from the past. I searched into. I looked into scientific stuff, quantum mechanics, which is really cool. Quantum mechanics. I dove into a lot of different things searching for answers, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what the best course of action would be for me to take for myself moving forward. And the problem was that I didn't have a guidebook to go by. What I mean is, through a lot of therapy, I kind of realized that as a kid growing up, I didn't have a whole lot of controversy. I was really lucky that way. Realized later on that my siblings didn't see it that way, but I always felt like we always had enough, you know, and life was good. Nobody close to me really died, other than a couple of grandparents, and it was later on as an adult. And when adverse things started happening that would bring just about anybody, I would think, to their knees, I had no idea how to handle it. Never learned that. I was never shown that. Never talked to anybody about that, because I never had to. The only controversy I ever had was myself as a kid. And I remember my mom telling me that, you know, you're gonna get back what you give, so be careful. And you know, she's a smart lady. But I wanted to show you some stuff. Walk through. I love getting into nature. Just going through things. Look, there's some geese here, some swans, I think. I'm not gonna get too close because I know they just had babies and stuff. Beautiful connection right there. I love this pond. I wish I had my microphone on. I don't want to scare you guys. Just stay there. It's cool. I'll back up. But living where I live, it's hard to get into places like this, and we often hear sirens and stuff in the background. I think one of the reasons we enjoy getting out into nature the way that we do, the way we always crave to get away on the long weekends and things like that, is our connection with nature gets lost within the city. You take away the fundamentals of life on Earth, which we move Earth, we build on top of it and take down trees, and not that there's anything wrong with that, and we need to do that, but it sort of takes away that connection we have. That's why parks are so important and special, and things like that, and why getting out is important. So thanks, guys. Yeah, and connection with nature, I think, is something that we've all kind of come away from, and I think it's really the answer to a lot of us when we're thinking about what it is to do in life. We want to do things that are going to make us happy, right? Like things that make us feel special. And I went back to school as an adult and took a course that was recommended I'd taken ages ago. And I don't regret it, but I do wish I had taken it earlier. It would have set me up. But I like my job, and I had no idea that I would have liked physics and chemistry and stuff like that. It was just never my thing. I was a sports guy, and I like people, and that sort of thing, right? So I really kind of got into it, and then when I heard about quantum mechanics, it started changing things in the double slit experiment, and started changing things in the way I look at things, and I think that it's important to always keep an open mind, and to be stuck in the thought of things have to be one way, I think is really not beneficial, for lack of a better word. I think that being stuck in a certain mentality is not a great way to be. Yeah, it leaves a lot open for interpretation, and that's where the big mystery is where are the answers? Are they in the multiverse? Are they entangled in quantum mechanics? This time I don't know if I can move them or not. I want to get too close, but let's see if they'll skedadoodle so I can go on by. Hi guys, everybody go. Take your time. Take your time. Everybody go. One at a time. I don't mean to interrupt you. Just going for a walk. Appreciate you guys. Go on. Go on. You too. You too, friend. You as well. Go on. Go on. That's good. It's cool. You did your job. You did your job. You did your job. Oh, they're beautiful. And then diving into quantum mechanics, well, that just sort of changes everything for everybody. And whether you like it or not, you have to change the way that you look at things, or you're really not seeing it, I guess, the way that science is seeing it. And it is almost godlike, to be quite honest. It's quantum mechanics is very mystical, and I don't know, there's lots to go on about it. But the double slit experiment sort of shows that, we as the observer are the ones that create this magical, wonderful world that we live in. And although times can get really tough, it's important to remember who you are. And I know that's real easy to say. I know it's real easy to say because it's taken me a long time to be able to say it about myself and just stay who I am. I don't like conflict. It's never been something I've ever been interested in, to be quite honest. And for the longest time I avoided conflict. And the idea isn't to avoid conflict. The idea is to not allow conflict to affect you internally. And, I mean, it's a whole big thing, and we could go religiously, we could go otherwise, but protecting your peace is really number one. Because it doesn't matter how well you handle pressure or can deal with certain situations. When the time comes that you really need it, you've got to be stocked up on it. You got to be stocked up on things that you love. When you stop doing the things that you love, you start doing things that everybody else needs you to do. And I think I tried to explain this once, and I still think it falls true. I kind of feel like, for my household anyway, that I'm the one in charge of the fire. We go camping, I'm the one in charge of the fire. It's my job to throw logs on, make adjustments. Yeah, I could send people out to get wood, but entirely, really, it's my job. And I felt like, mentally, that I stopped tending the fire and started chasing people who were leaving the peace and the calm of being around a fire and running off into the woods. And I'd take a hot stick that's on fire and I'd go chasing them around, trying to keep them lit. And I'd exhaust myself. And that happened many times. And for different people and different reasons. And I just found I was constantly chasing people around. And it took a long time to realize that that's not what my people needed from me. My people needed from me to be solid, to be that steady fire, so that when they do wander off into the woods, they got a place to come back to, that they can see, that they can find. It's my job to make that fire bright enough they know where to go. And if they want to come back, they're going to come back. That's not the case for every situation. One of the issues I have is involving, not for me personally, but somebody in my life who's older, is having memory issues, and it's tough. It's tough to see that. And I'd be worrying a lot, and not that there was anything at all remotely I could do about it, but I felt like it was sort of my job to try and make sure this person was okay. At the same time, I had somebody else having things going on, and I'm trying to save them because they really needed it. And then another person who had to see all this and needed help understanding. And then another person who had some other issues, and it's hard to watch somebody learn about those issues and go through them. And it all kind of happened for me all at once. And I did not have the playbook to deal with this. I did not have the emotional strength to deal with it. And I thought I did. I was the kind of guy, I never cried. Not often, anyway. Not as a man. That was just not acceptable. Not something you did. But mental health has come a long way. And men have a hard time. Women have a hard time. Children have a hard time. But I mean, you know what I mean. Like, guys they just weren't supposed to cry, right? And that sucked. That was really hard. It was hard to kind of be like that until a point where I just couldn't anymore. And at that time, it was affecting my mind, the way I remembered things. Not everything, but really important stuff, like work stuff. Pretty serious job, so not remembering stuff is a pretty clear signal that I needed to take some time. And I did. I took some time for myself. And I kind of, I want to say I refound myself, but I kind of found myself, you know. I found a new way of looking at life. And I found something really familiar for me. I found that spirituality didn't have to mean getting on my knees and praying. And didn't have to. And this is just a personal. And I found that no matter what you call God, source, whatever, that being still and being quiet with your own thoughts and then clearing them away is something that we all should do. And that it's not easy. I started meditating and I found all kinds of intrusive thoughts coming in. I'm supposed to be thinking about this, I'm supposed to be thinking that, supposed to clear your mind, you know. But it's not about clearing your mind, it's about balancing your mind, I think, if that makes sense. I'm not a guru, so I don't know. I'm no expert in any of this. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist or a guru. I'm just somebody who's been through it and going through it. And will likely go through it and continue with it for all my life. So just want to share what I've experienced, and if it can help somebody, then I want it to help, you know. That's how I look at it. So yeah, that's the whole idea of this. And Awaken AF, the EH is just the Canadian thing. It's the A and F instead of an actual A. Just some fun. And I don't know, I've always felt I've been kind of an open person where I can talk to people, and I don't mind talking about myself and my experiences. Pretty open like that. When I do seem secretive, it's really to protect what I think would be the identification of other people who don't need their stuff put out there. It's been an ongoing struggle. The stresses in my life are starting to ease a little bit. People are getting the help that they need. I've gotten the help that I needed in order to, I don't know, be able to live a normal, healthy life. Like, I never knew what mental health and depression and anxiety and other disorders were and what they really kind of meant. And I don't pretend to know any other disorder other than my own that I've got. So, and I don't even know if I would call it a disorder, but it's just one of those things that, thank God, thank the people who were in charge of making sure that we could get the mental health services that we needed. Because without those people, my situation would be a lot different, and not in a great way. So I'm really grateful to the people who work in the industry, who help people like me out, and other people I know who are similar. Very grateful for that. I know that I feel better when I sit and meditate, and that doesn't have to mean you have to set up a big thing and go and meditate. It's not what it's about. Going for a walk is a form of meditation. You walk, and when you get shitty thoughts that come into your head and you start thinking about, this happened today and it sucked, or this happened at work today and it sucked, or this happened with my kid and it sucked. When you go for your walk and those thoughts come in, recognize them, be like, yeah, it was pretty crappy. I don't want to think about that right now. I should clear my head. And sort of, I don't know, somebody once put it to me like, swipe it away. Just like you would on your screen, just swipe it. You don't want that thought. And focus on your breathing. Every time that you don't have to do anything special. You can, there are breathing techniques out there that help calm you down and whatnot, but for now, for beginners, for anybody, when you're walking and meditating, you're just walking and breathing. And when you breathe and you're focused on it, you're not focusing on whatever else is bothering, right? You know, you're focused on feeling the air fill your lungs and blowing it out through your mouth. And you're just being quiet. And I think people lost the importance of what it means to be silent with yourself. And yeah, I don't know. It's sort of hard to describe, I guess, but when you are with yourself, you kind of get to know yourself a bit better. And if you're honest with yourself, you know the things that you like and you don't like. You know the way people treat you that you like. You know the way people treat you that you don't like. You don't need to sort through that. You know the people that you like. You know the people you don't like. You don't need to sort through that. Your walk meditation could be, it's just exercise. It's moving the air through your lungs, getting the blood moving. And it helps you breathe. It accelerates your breathing a bit. And I've touched on this before in other videos where smokers don't go outside to breathe smoke because that smoke relaxes them. That's not what it is. Smokers go outside and the smoke forces them to breathe. And when you slow your breathing down, because you gotta, right? When you slow your breathing down, it puts your state of mind back into the ability to be able to go and make good decisions based on stuff you know to be fact, instead of stuff that's happened in the past and you're going, oh, well, it's happened before, so now it's going to happen again. That's a big deal. Knowing the difference, knowing that doesn't always happen. It sets you apart a little bit from some other people. Some people look at you funny when you walk, meditate. I meditate a bit at home, kind of got away from it a little bit with my partner, but we're gonna get back into it because we know how much better we felt when we did it, you know. And we got away with it as things got busy and stuff was happening in our lives, and instead of focusing on us, we started focusing on the other stuff that was happening in our lives, and it caused both of us, I don't know, it hurt us both mentally, I suppose. You know, it didn't do us any favors, that's for sure. So we have decided to get back to that space at the front of the house open up. So we're going to make it into sort of a calming space. There's a few of us in the house that might need it. So that's what we're going to do. We've created that space. So you just go in and kind of chill for a second and breathe, because that's really what it's all about. I want to do it again. I like the walking and talking thing. Show you some of my favorite spots I like to go and just chill and relax. Cool. And yeah, I want to share thoughts on not just mental health, because although it's important, I think it ties in with other things like quantum mechanics and perspective, how we look at the world. I think it's all really, really important, and I think it's important that we start talking about it, because not a lot of people in positions of power are talking about this kind of stuff. They're not talking, I don't mean mental health, because they've done good with that. I'm talking about how to fix it, how to change the way you look at things, because perspective's everything. You know, to a poor person, a 1980 Chevette is an amazing car, because at least they have a car. To a rich person, it's a piece of crap. It's perspective, you know. And when I like to use this because I know what's happened to me. When I thought about buying a car, I thought about buying a certain brand of vehicle. And when I started putting my attention towards thinking about that vehicle, all of a sudden, I saw that vehicle everywhere. Now, I'm not saying that vehicle wasn't already everywhere. I'm just saying I saw it because my perspective changed. And we can do that with everything. It's mastering it. It's knowing how to do it at the drop of a dime. Because I've been through stuff, and I've handled a lot of stuff. I know how to calm myself. I know what I'm supposed to do. I've done therapy for a few years now, and know a bunch of people in therapy, and spoken with enough people through therapeutic methods that shows that it's all about perspective. And that's it. Get out there and high five a ton of trees.